I'm going to introduce one of our past head members that did the 6-week challenge. I think you just did one, right? Did one. And then she got the results she wanted, and she's doing great. So I'm going to introduce a speaker to you. Her name is Shiloh. Want to come on up? I'm going to have to break because she has a birthday party to go to for her daughter. So.
Hi. Good to see you. Thank you. I want to sit down and relax.
Okay, sounds good. So I'm just going to talk for you.
Yeah, you're just going to go up there. And why don't you start by telling them why you decided to try this program, and why it was different than the others.
Okay. For me, I've always been an active person, and years and years ago, I had learned about meal prepping, and so I come from a little bit different place in that I had a lot of knowledge already going into this, but somewhere along the lines, I lost it. It's really strange how you just, I became a mom, I got really busy, I dealt with some back injuries, and I kind of lost sight of everything I had previously learned. And it was really strange because I found myself always making excuses, right? Well, I just got to get my kids to a certain age, and once they're this age, then I'll be able to, think of myself again. And so much time had gone on, and I finally got to a point where I realized that every day I was waking up and just looking at myself and saying, I don't even recognize you, in the mirror. I don't even recognize that person because I was always so different than that. And I would try to go back and reprogram my mind and say, okay, if I just, meal prep a little bit or eat a little healthier. But it was really strange because it was like I just couldn't do it anymore. I didn't know how. I lost sight. So I know Carol and Marco from CrossFit, and I'm not a member of the gym, but I knew they had opened this gym, and so I've always followed them, and I was intrigued by their approach, and so I thought, I just need to reach out. I realized I needed a hand again just to kind of find my path. I reached out and I said, you know what? I want to do it. I need you to help me. I need the guidance. And so it took a lot for me to actually come to that point and say I needed help again, because I was prideful before that, thinking, no, I know what I'm doing. I can do this. And I was finding out really quickly that I couldn't anymore. So
I have to interject. It's nice to hear this because I never talked to you about this.
No, we didn't. We really didn't.
It's like, wow, this is really cool. I'm
Yeah.
enjoying this. So
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. So and I've seen that you've been successful. Carol was real successful with some groups she'd been doing before, and so I just wanted to kind of get on that path again. And I'm really big about I can succeed if I'm held accountable, and so the accountability piece of it works for me really well. I'm a competitive person in life, not just in sports, but just in life. If someone tells me to do something, I'm not going to fail them. So if I tell someone I'm going to do something, I'm not going to fail them. So that accountability piece, where every week you're going to have to step on that scale and weigh in, and the truth is in the numbers. You can't lie about how successful your week was when you step on that scale. So having that piece of it made me not want to fail. I didn't want to disappoint, and I didn't want to disappoint not just myself, but I didn't want to disappoint Carol. She was putting in so much time and energy into everybody, and you don't want to disappoint that person who's here to help you. So that was really big for me. But, I was listening to you guys and talking already, and you're talking a lot about the mindset. And I have to be completely honest with you. The biggest piece of this really is the mindset. Truly, truly, truly. You have to just learn how to detach yourself from being happy eating, if that makes sense. And she's going to go into a lot more details, but you have to be able to detach yourself from, well, I'm going to eat because I want to enjoy this meal so much. And you have to learn how to say, I'm going to eat because it's time to eat and it's what my body needs and I'm just fueling my body. So it doesn't sound as exciting, but once you can do that, you'll find that you don't feel deprived, you don't feel like you're missing out, you don't feel like you're not getting something that you need, because you will be getting everything you need, and your body will start to feel better, and you just have to trust that process. It's hard the first few days. It will be really hard for you the first few days because you're breaking bad habits. And we all know that habits are hard to break. So the beginning really is just about breaking bad habits. So for me, success really came from just the mindset and just staying strong with it. And when I would have those moments of weakness where I was just thinking, oh my gosh, I really just want a chocolate right now. This might sound really silly, but I just stand back in the mirror and say, no, how many more times do you want to stand in front of this mirror and say, I'm not happy? You need to just get over yourself, get over that, and do something different. If you want to be different, you have to do something different. That's the bottom line. And you just have to keep telling yourself that. And so, I don't know. I mean, I think that's really what it was. You just have to be mentally strong. And remember, too, I mean, if you can't get all the workouts in, just remember that 80% of it is the food. So don't be disappointed that you didn't get to the gym because 80% of what you're doing is the eating, okay? I have an extremely busy life, and I was doing this program right in the midst of a busy season of work for me, which I work during my busy season 7 days a week. Plus, I have 2 kids who are active 6 days a week each in different activities. And, I didn't get all my workouts in throughout the whole program. That was a goal of mine, was minimum 3 days, but there were definitely weeks where I didn't. But I didn't allow myself to beat myself up for it. I didn't stress about it because 80% will come from the food. If you can do the food part, you will see the results. The workout will be bonus. So, I don't know. I mean,
how do you feel that it helped you through the busy time? I know the meal prepping on Sundays is a lot of time,
yeah.
But did it help you be on automatic pilot the rest of the week?
Yeah, it was. It was really good. And, in fact, it helped in the sense that I wasn't leaving to go out to lunch and losing an hour and a half of my day working by going out to lunch. So I would just eat in front of my desk. Now, that's bad, but when you're busy at work, you do everything you have to get your work done. And that's not year-round for me. It's just during busy time. So being able to just kind of already be prepped, I didn't have to think about what to eat. I saved time. I really did. Putting the time all in on Sunday and getting it done. And I got it down. I mean, I think my first time I meal prepped that first week, I think I was in the kitchen all day Sunday.
I wanted you to talk about that
okay.
too, because the first time you've meal prepped, you think,
oh
this
my
is
goodness.
crazy, right?
Yeah,
Not
oh my
able to
goodness.
do this.
I can't do this every Sunday. I can't spend the entire day in the kitchen every Sunday. But it got to the point where, I was so efficient in the end that I was probably like 2 hours, and most of the time was probably just the weighing and packaging. I was spending more time weighing and packaging than I was actually cooking because you just get good at it, and you just don't worry. I stopped worrying so much about how flavorful I can make a meal, and it was really like just get my vegetable, get my protein, get my carb in the container and put it away and move on. Found brown rice that you can do in 90 seconds, and so you just find really, really, really easy ways of getting it together. The biggest thing was just cooking your protein, and I chose to simplify. I chose to not make so many different meals that I was there all week. I would pick 2 meals, and I would just make, my lunch and my dinner, and I'd make 7 of each. I always make my breakfast every morning because to me, cooking eggs was easy enough to do in, a few minutes, and I never, prepped my breakfast. And then your in-betweens are going to be your shakes or something that you don't really need to prep as much either. So you're really looking at, when it comes down to it, you've got 2 meals to account for that you're trying to get in the containers.
So, I prep my breakfasts every morning for 4 days because I don't want to crack eggs every day.
Yeah.
But everyone's,
yeah.
different.
And for me, I don't mind doing it, so it was fine. But yeah, it got to the point where, like, the most time-consuming part becomes just packaging it, and that's just, and everyone's different. For me, I quickly detached from the feeling of this has to taste great, and it has to be what fulfills my day, my meal, right? And I got to the point where simple is best. I don't think about it. It fills me up. I feel good. I'm energized. Let's move on.
You can enjoy that meal when it's your cheat day, right?
Right.
That's when you can kind
right,
of...
Right, and the funny thing was there was, for the 6 weeks, I ended up, and this was personal choice, I ended up only only electing to use my cheat once. And that was because I just felt good. I didn't need it. I didn't feel...
You didn't have a cheat day once a week?
No, I didn't.
Wow.
I didn't.
That's why you lost the 17 pounds.
I didn't. I had one cheat meal over the entire 6 weeks.
Wow.
And it was just because I didn't feel I needed it. I wasn't feeling mentally weak. I wasn't feeling like I had a bunch of cravings. I would say if you have that, you need to use it. For sure, use it if you have it. But if you're feeling good, that's kind of what I did. I'm like, I feel good. I mean, like, my husband would be like, hey, you want to go? We can go to Fleming's. We can have steak. And I'm like, it just doesn't really sound that great. I'm good. I don't need to. I have my ground turkey and brown rice. I'm good to go. And he's like, you're crazy.
Wow,
you're crazy.
You
know?
are hardcore.
but it was like I said, it was just really the mindset. It was really feeling tired of feeling down about myself, and I just was over it. So, it's the hardest part. The mind, challenging your mind to stick with it is the hardest part.
Now, how was this with your kids in cooking for them? What did you do for them?
So, luckily, I mean, my kids, I've tried to do a really good job of exposing them to everything I eat. I would make modifications, but my kids, they love ground turkey. I mean, we go through pounds of it a week. They can sit there, and I'll just do ground turkey taco meat, and they'll eat that on a whole wheat tortilla with like a taco. I mean, they'll eat that all day long. So they're good with most of it. There are things that they don't like. Just the plain grilled chicken is they're just like, oh, it's just chicken again. They get bored of some of that, but.
What I would do, I'm going to interject, is with my kids, they grew up. We were doing bodybuilding competitions and bikini contests, so they grew up with this. So we would throw in bagel bites for them. We would throw in pizza or macaroni and cheese or fish sticks. So they would eat what we would eat, but we would throw in some fun stuff.
Right, yeah, and we do that. And so, and they got really into it. They'd be like, oh, Mom, how's the challenge going? What, where are you at today? In fact, when I was telling my son that I was coming here, and he said, how much weight did you lose again? And I told him, and he 17, and he was like, oh, wow, yeah, that's a lot, Mom, that's a lot, that's really good, so they got really into it, and when you keep them a part of it, then, they're learning the healthy habits as well, and so it's good for them. I mean, I'm proud of the way my kids eat. They don't eat like I do all the time. My son can't stand brown rice. I don't make him eat it. He eats white rice, and I'm perfectly okay with that. They eat very good for their age, and I'm proud of that. So like I say, you just have to. I think the first week is the hardest. If you can just get yourself through that first week, then you'll see that you'll feel better, and it will motivate you to want to keep going. I mean, there were days where I mean, I would have all my food with me. I knew I was going to be gone all day. I'd take all my meals, and I knew I wasn't going to have a microwave. You just eat it cold, and you just learn to just say it's no big deal. I just eat it cold. And my husband used to think he was like, there's no way I could do that. And it's fine,
Yeah, I love that. I wish everyone could be, can you all be like,
you shovel it down, and you just like, okay, let's go. What are we doing now? And you just can't sit there and dwell on it and think about it as, oh my God, I can't. This is this isn't good. This is torture. You just don't do that.
What I would tell people to do too is people that were like maybe training for, they want to take pictures for their husband and look good or whatever. Carol, I'm just dying. I want to eat something. I'm like, drink your water. Just drink your water. Go to the bathroom and look into the mirror, look in your eyes, and say, I can do this. I would have to do that. I should go in the camera. But I remember there was times where I would go to the bathroom, and I would have to look in the mirror and look in my eyes and tell myself, I can do this.
Right.
Or this is really personal, but this is funny. I would be at work and pull my smock, I'm a dental hygienist, and pull it up, and I look at my stomach and say, okay, it doesn't need any more. It doesn't need that chocolate. It doesn't need any more calories.
Right. As I say, look at why you're here. I mean, go back to what brought you here today, and remember how you felt. Remember why you brought yourself here today, And I do the same thing. I would wake up in the morning if I was feeling like, oh my gosh, I think today's gonna be a bad day. I'm having all kinds of cravings and I'm just barely waking up. I just, as I'm changing, I look in the mirror and I'm like, nah, yeah, you stick with it. You're still not happy. If you look in the mirror and you're not happy, you need to keep doing something different.
Amen. All right. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Good luck, everybody.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much.